Today we are doing trig functions. Okay, we are interpreting them. So we are having f of x that is equal to cos x, and then we are having g of x that is equal to 2 sine x. The interval for both graphs, it's 0 is to what? 360 degrees. So the first question here, which is 3.1, they say write down the period of G. Okay, by definition, the period is the time it takes to complete a full cycle. All right, is the time it takes to complete a full cycle. So now let us look at G. Our G, okay, this is G, right? So G starts here, G starts there. So G goes like this, it goes, it goes, it goes, and then right there, okay, I can say this one is a half a cycle. Okay, this is just half a cycle of what? Of G. So now if I move, I continue moving like this, all right, I get a full cycle. Because if you can take this part, you shift it in such a way that it is on this part, it will give you a full cycle, right? It will give you a full cycle. Another thing that you need to know is the behavior of the graph. The behavior of the graph. This graph started by increasing on the what? On the positive y values. So it decreases on the positive y values. It also decreases on the negative y values. Now it is increasing on the negative y values. If this graph were to continue, and then it goes like this, all right, that graph, this part of the graph is going to be the repetition of what we have from 0 until 90 degrees. All right, it's going to be the repetition. So now before the graph starts repeating itself, we have got a full cycle, which is a period. All right, so to answer this question, P for the period is equal to what? 360 degrees. All right. All right, question number 2, which is 3.2. All right, they say for which values or value of x is f of x greater than or equal to 0? All right, let me rewrite this question in a simplest form, the way you will easily understand it. By now you already know that f of x is the same as y, right? So we have got y. We want to know where the value of y, right, on which function? On function f is greater than or equal to what? 0. When we say greater than or equal to 0, we are talking about a positive number. All right, we are talking about a positive number. So now let us go to the graph and check function f where it is positive on the what? On the y values. So we have got a Cartesian plane here. You see these values are the negative values. Those values there, they are the positive values, right, of y. So now function f from here, from this one, it is decreasing, it goes down until 90 degrees here, right? And every value of y there is what? Is positive, meaning that that value is greater than or equal to 0. It's greater than 0 in short, okay? Until it reaches what? 90 degrees. So it's from 0 to what? To 90 degrees. So let us write that one. It's from 0 what? 0 degrees to what? To 90 degrees, like this. And then these are the x values that we are looking for. But according to the inequality here, it says greater than or equal to, okay? So we can write like this. So the first answer that we are having for the question is this one. Okay, now let us continue analyzing this, interpreting this thing. From 90 degrees, when we go with this graph, all right, like this, you can see that the value of y there is what? It's negative. And that's not what we want according to the question. according to the question, it says f of x is greater than or equal to 0. So we are looking for the positive sides of what? Of y. Positive side of y. So now here it says greater than or equal to 0, and then this is the positive side that we have. All right, that is the positive side there. That is the positive side. So it's from 270 degrees to 360 degrees. It's from 270 degrees until 360 degrees. All right, good. We have got x there. We say less than or equal to, less than or equal to. So this becomes part of the answer. All right, part of the answer. Anyway, this is out of 2 marks. Okay, it's out of 2 marks, guys. The first mark that you get is for this one, and then the second mark is that one. All right, we are done answering 3.1 and 3.2. Now we need to answer 3.3. All right, on 3.3, you need to be careful here because we have got a new equation. All right, we have got a new equation. It says determine the range of m of x if m is equal to -4 multiplied by f of x plus 1. Right, so this is what we are having, guys. The basic graph of what we are having is this one. Right, if we were asked to find the range of what of f of x, let's say for example the range of f of x, good. F of x, you can see the lowest value is what? It's -1, and then the highest value is what? It's +1. So the range, like range, okay, y is an element of what? -1 and 1, like this. This was going to be the range. Is equal to -4 f of x. You see this f of x is equal to what? Cos x. So I will write cos x, and then plus 1. Right, now let us talk about this. Right, if you are having this part only, do you see this part? This part, the difference between what we have here and this one is just this -4, and this -4 is just a factor. Okay, they are just multiplying this original f of x by -4. All right, so it's just a factor. So now the range of the original graph is this one, which is f of x. All right, now if we were to find the range of m here, right, we were going to have something like this. Y is an element of -4 is to positive what? 4, like this. This was going to be the range. Okay, but because they said +1, all right, they said +1, so now the new range that we are going to have will look like this. Y is an element of -4 plus 1 is to 4 plus 1. All right, and therefore y is an element of, when you say -4 plus 1, that gives you -3. And then when you say 4 plus 1, that gives you 5. The range now should be y is an element of -3 is to what? 5. That becomes your answer right there. Thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye.